I'm so honored today to be sitting next to Sadhguru, the yogic, mystic, visionary, also the founder of the Isha Foundation. Sadhguru, it's such an honor.
Namaskaram, wonderful
Namaskaram.
to have you here. And
Thank you
you're
so
the
much.
first man I'm meeting with the name Gita.
Not a female, unfortunately.
No, usually female names are spelled with double E.
Yes.
This is proper Gita itself.
I'll tell you a story. My parents were big fans of India, still are. My father passed, and they expected a baby girl. But in the 60s, they didn't have the technology
So
to
out
predict.
of their disappointment, they put Gita on you.
So they prepared the clothes and the name, but something else came up. I wanna ask you a few questions, Sadhguru. The first is relevant to how you grew up. You referred to your great-grandmother
I stay here and guard the
very
car.
often.
Alice, I
as a
really
role
think
model.
the car will be okay
No,
on its own.
not a role
Alright.
model. If she was my role model, you wouldn't be sitting here with me.
So tell us.
Probably there are two ways of putting this. One thing is, even when I was 4 or 5 years of age,
Shit! Watch out!
my thought process was just about the same as it is today. So I don't know which is the reality, whether I did not grow up
Guitar
or
here.
I was never a child, one way or the other. Except for my ability to do things and whatever else, life and interaction with life. As a person, what I was then, I'm still the same person,
Heads up!
very much. Only thing is, at that time, the burden of ignorance
Spin up! Get out of the tube!
was because I had to pay attention to everything. Or rather,
Weapons
I
over
could not
here!
pay attention to anything without being withdrawn from everything else. If I had to look at a leaf, everything else would disappear. If I look at a man, woman or a child, everything else will disappear.
Shotgun.
Maybe my perception has
Through
evolved
this door.
that today I can pay attention and still be conscious of everything else. At that time, if I pay attention to something, only that was there, everything else was gone.
They're coming!
Even now I'm made like this,
Through
if I
this
close
window.
my eyes, that's the end of the world. I could sit like this till I fall dead. Because
Get it off!
deep down within me I have no need to do anything, no need for action.
Thank you.
Well, what's needed, we take it down. That's why there's no burden. Doesn't matter how much activity, there is no burden sometimes because you don't carry it heavy on yourself. I'm still the same 4 or 5-year-old boy. Nothing changed. Maybe I laugh a little more now than then. Because I found the keys to ecstasy.
You've put premium on ignorance more than knowledge. It's rather contrarian and counterintuitive.
Well, it is not. It is just that people twist and turn through times. See, in the Western culture, for example, because we are here, I'm talking about this. The basic fable or the story or the parable that comes is about how man and woman fell by using the See, knowledge does not mean you know everything.
We got a hunter!
The moment, by accumulating a few pieces, if you think you know the whole universe, you're lost. If you gather a few of these leaves and say, I understand the universe. Right now, this is the human being. They're not tidbits of life. With those tidbits, they think they know everything. So always people are going back to authority. saying that the Gita says this, the Quran says that, the Bible says this, some other book says that. You're going back to authority essentially means you don't know. Why don't you admit you don't know?
Yeah.
And this admitting is not to me or to somebody else, within yourself. If you know that you do not know, then your intelligence will be on 24 hours of the day, awake or asleep. It's always on and probing and exploring or penetrating into creation. If I think I know, immediately it'll sleep. See, right now, it's light, you can casually walk without paying attention to anything. If you come here late night, it'll be pitch dark. If I ask you to walk here, you will become super alert. Why? Because you don't know where is the next step. The moment you don't know, do you see your alertness is at a different level altogether?
No.
So, even now you don't know.
Guns here.
It's just that you assume you know. Well, we go to universities, we go to schools, we go to scholars and a variety of people
Y'all ready?
to make our own conclusions or to go there to confirm our conclusions that we already have.
Hey, some guns here.
This is not exploration, this is not knowing. This is not just knowledge.
That kind of attracting the
This is the
horde.
same old tribe of hunting and gathering, part of the civilization, you know. Very rudimentary or primitive part of civilization. We are still there when it comes to mind. Physical atmosphere, maybe we have grown, but not really. They were going hunting, gathering, people are going shopping. It's the same, it's hunting only.
We all gotta shoot the tank. You hear me?
Educational system needs to be radically changed.
Well, the educational system that we have is like an extruder.
Relax,
You
I'm…
put everything into the same thing and it cannot really make conversions.
Ammo.
A human being is a life, a unique life. Not only that, on this planet we are the peak of evolution. You can't put flowers through the extruder and get out
Second pistol.
some kind of shape and say this is a unique life. Flower has to blossom in full fragrance means it needs
Weapons
attention
over
and
here!
cultivation. I think very, very few schools in the world can even attempt or afford to cultivate children slowly with the necessary care. Because it's an extruder system. Put everybody into it and some kind of product comes out. They know physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, everything. This is all been done because we have made
Chase this, you zombie
making a living
bastards!
too big a thing. Making a living has become big and absolutely
Jockey!
for our civilization. Because
Pipe
we
bomb
want to
out.
live like somebody else. If your neighbor has a car which is 2 feet longer than yours, you want to get that.
Bill's here.
If your neighbor has a bigger diamond than yours, you want to get that. If a neighbor has a bigger house than that, you want to get that. It all depends in which neighborhood you're living. How much you want, isn't it?
Right.
It keeps growing like this. So we think this is development, this is advancement of human
Ammo up
civilization.
here!
This is just raising the bar of survival higher and higher, that even if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, still you're fighting for survival. This is the silliest way to live. Because the idea of
Boomer!
in life, either for an individual or a society or a nation, is that we don't have to be concerned about our survival. That's the idea. Our choices of nourishment and choices of lifestyle are ensured. We can live whichever way we want. And if something significant comes, we can go that way. Like people here were asking me, Sadhguru, is it true that next time Jesus comes, he will come here in Missouri, not in Jerusalem?
Grenade!
I said, I don't know where he's going to come. But if he comes in America and he says, like he said 2000 years ago, come follow me. Even in Jerusalem, only 12 people followed. Out of those 12, one of them quit. But in America, if he says, come follow me, maybe many of you will have desire. But you have student loan, car loan, house loan, second house loan. 45 years, your life is already mortgaged. Where are you going to go? He also said, you can't serve money and me at the same time. All right. Anyway, he said, you serving this process of acquiring wealth and serving me won't happen together. What he's saying is, it's not about being against wealth. It is just that you understand the wealth of life is in your experience, in the profoundness of your experience, not in things that you accumulate. Because whatever you accumulate, it is only relevant to the times in which we exist. If you were here 10,000 years ago, you had a little better stick than me. You're a big guy.
Ninja sword here.
Today, if you carry a stick and walk around, we think you've lost it. All right? So today what you have is maybe a car, maybe a home, maybe a suit, maybe this and that. This is a consequence of time. This is not your doing. So what we have is only relevant to the time period that we are there. And what we gather, either in terms of material wealth or in terms of knowledge, will never enhance the life that we are. It will only enhance us in the social situation. We are misunderstanding that social situation as life. Social situation is a frill that we add to our life.
You know, there's an observation that the current generation, they tend to spend a lot less time on what matters in the long run. They tend to spend a lot more time on what
They know
matters
life
today.
is brief.
So short-termism, is that good then?
I didn't say it's good.
Okay.
You're very serious.
I'm nervous.
People are trying to live like there is no tomorrow. It's fantastic if you lived like that in full awareness.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what comes tomorrow, you're fine. That's not how it is. You push yourself into unawareness of alcohol and drugs and various other things. You don't know what's coming tomorrow. That is a stupid way to live. Ignorance is not bliss, as people have been propagating. See, if you jump off a cliff, it's really wonderful, you know. Have you ever done free diving, free fall diving?
No.
You should. It's most wonderful.
Liberating.
Liberating, beautiful, because you don't know whether you're going up or down simply or floating up there in the space. Only thing is, if you look down, the damn planet is coming at you at great speed, that's the only problem. So it is very blissful till you hit the ground.
Wow.
So ignorance is always like that. For a brief amount of time, it's fantastic. You don't know nothing, it's great. But when life hits you, it hits you.
I want to go back to what you alluded to earlier. Gita and the Bible and Quran.
Boomer!
You've spoken.
Boomer!
I know. And I want to get to what you've referred to earlier a few times in the context of the difference between clarity and confidence. Tell us.
Well, I'll go back to the same example. Right now, if I ask you to walk from here to there,
Let's go.
do you need confidence? If you have 2 legs, you'll walk. But if it's pitch dark, if I ask you to walk, you need confidence. So your confidence is a bridge to cross
Man, we
the chasm
learned your
of
asses.
darkness that you don't know.
Laser sights here.
It can work sometimes. You can shout your slogan, whatever your slogan is.
Weapons.
And go. Maybe you will cross, or maybe you will sink. Well, if it works 50% of the time, most people think they're successful if they're successful 50% of the time in their life. That's why they decided to give it a coin. Heads, I do this, tails, I do that. See, if you're successful only 50% of the time, there are only two professions for you. Astrologer or a weatherman. These are the only two professions where you can be right 50% of the time and still keep your job. In any other job, if you're 50% of the time wrong, you're fired. Confidence is a bridge across things like clarity. You see things as a bridge.
Kill, man, kill.
How do you need confidence? You can see what is there, so what is the problem? So it's enhancing clarity. We are building confidence with belief systems and philosophies and ideologies. A man who thinks he is very confident is naturally violent. No, they can't approach anything gently. People don't understand this. Whether it's a football game or a tennis game or anything that's happening, people are in this mode.
Shoot the clown!
Weapons
Well,
over
right
here.
now they may not be controlling,
Over this fence.
but there is a
Charger!
urge for violence. You are seeing the game itself as a catharsis for your violence.
Guns here.
No, there is another way to approach it and function at your highest level, because there is substantial medical and scientific evidence to show you that your
That
body
clown's
and your
attracting
brains
zombies.
will work at their best only when there is a pleasantness of experience. If you're blissful, your body and your brains will work at their best. For success of any physical activity, sport, music, art, business, whatever it is, how well you can harness this body
Fire
and this
bullets
brain
here.
is the success. Simply, it's the basics of success. So,
Thanks a lot.
if you think there is a substitute for clarity, you will move from making plans to depending on predictions.
Ellis.
This is the difference between success and chance. A lot of people are successful by chance. The coin fell the right way,
Come on,
but
y'all
they live
hurry
in
up.
the fear of losing it all the time. If they're successful, they're fearful. If they're not successful, of course.
Keep it tight.
Pop
all
out
the
all the
trouble.
way.
A growing number of people around the
How
world
does that roll?
seem to think that the world is getting darker. Does that mean the need for more confidence as opposed to clarity?
Look out!
I don't think the world is getting darker. Maybe they looked up in the night.
Watch out!
Showing any signs of peace in some parts of the world.
You just look back and see. You're from Indonesia. 100 years ago, what was happening? 200 years ago, what was happening? What is happening today?
Damn, you could got me!
Then how is it dark?
I was referring to other parts of the world.
Other parts of the world also. Anywhere in the world, what was happening and what is happening today? Tell me which is better. Especially I'm saying women. Tell me which is better.
Y'all ready?
For the women of the world, it's never been as good as it is today, ever before in the history of humanity. Because the world was largely dependent on men's muscle to do everything. It is now because of technology, everything that man's muscle can do is being done by the machine. Now men and women we can even talk about equality.
Y'all inside now.
Otherwise, the talk was absurd. Nobody would even entertain the
Hey, I
talk.
need everybody.
Because man's muscle was vital to make anything happen in this world. So, people who are complaining are anyway complaining.
now I'm
They were
back.
always, even when they were in the caves, they were complaining. The cave is not large enough, not lit, there's no LED, there's no Wi-Fi. The same people. They'll continue to complain because they don't want to see that the failure is them, not the world. As a world, as a humanity, as a civilization, we made things really good outside for every human being, unfortunately. Still, there are a lot of people left out of it in terms of wars and famines, but that percentage is significantly smaller than what it was a few hundred years ago.
I agree.
It is just that if 100 years ago or 200 years ago, let us say here or in Indonesia, 100 people died, you would be sitting here, such a peaceful, wonderful day. But today already in the morning you saw a scene in the phone, blood spilling somewhere. Now you think it's happening all over the world. So do not misunderstand communication for creation.
Yeah.
Creation is going well.
Yeah.
Communication has increased to such a point that somewhere one man dies, his blood will spill in your sitting room, in your bedroom, your dining room also these days there is a… in your bathroom also there is a television, all right? So blood is spilling all over your house. You think it's spilling all over the world. No. Even if one man dies, if you take ghastly pictures of that and put it on the television, you will feel suddenly the world has become very violent, isn't it? That's not true. Yes, there are still many problems to solve, but it's way better than it ever.
Talk about technology.
Try and be careful.
I mean, rage has not gotten worse. Anger, rage, hatred. I think they would have been the same as we would have seen 100, 200 years ago. But the reach into technology is a little bit different now because of the way innovation has taken place in a much more exponential. So it may just take the same amount of bad behavior as it would have 100 or 200 years ago to be attached to some technological…
Empowered.
Correct. How do we deal with this?
Well, see, we've still not come to a place where we can make every human being conscious and be free from these things.
Oh,
But we
shit!
have come
Watch out!
with a poor substitute, which is called as the law. That you may be full of rage, but you still cannot kill me because you know what the consequences are. We made sure you don't get away with your actions of rage, largely. Not everywhere, but largely better than ever before. Law enforcement, a solution
I'm gonna beat that tank ass!
till we evolve, till we think human beings are worthwhile focusing upon and evolving them to greater possibilities, still we do that. Law enforcement is a stopgap, because if that is not there, we will never get there. Right now, at least there is a semblance. But you will sit here quietly.
Yeah, I'm ready.
This
Y'all
is
ready?
civilization.
Through there.
You understand? You're right now raging within you as to what you want to do with me, but you will sit here peacefully, at least pretending to be peaceful, and also try to smile.
Through this door.
So, this is the training for civilization. Civilization is not consciousness, but creating a platform to seek something higher. We are still in that place, creating a platform. There was a time when Eastern societies created the platform and rose to greatness. But unfortunately, those platforms were destroyed. In many ways, they were brought down with invasions, with very aggressive belief systems. It was brought down. So we still need to build that platform, and today, the world being so digital, it's a bit easier to build those platforms, because you can build a digital platform that people can use to raise themselves up. Raising human consciousness is the most important thing to do. of the planet. As a part of this, I'm not a realistic person. And for me, my realistic is only people. But now suddenly we are building a spurt of centers around
First
here.
aid
We're building
here.
a whole spiritual city. This is a very large piece of land.
Ready?
And we're building a whole city here. In India, we are working towards having nearly 100,000 people in the center. We're coming up with another center in Bangalore, one more in Delhi. We may do one in Europe.
Hopefully in Indonesia.
That's what they was telling
Here
me,
they
you must
come.
come to Indonesia and build. You have 11,000 islands uninhabited, maybe
17. Oh yeah.
uninhabited. 11,000 islands. That sounds very attractive.
Somebody shut
I
that
want an
clown up.
island with a volcano.
Ready?
Come on, I'm in a hurry.
I want to ask you about social media. I'm sort of in the camp that believes that social media has done more harm to humanity than health or good. I believe that many of our kids, or even older than those, are spending millions and millions of dollars. I wish I could spend the same number of hours here. This is not more. I think that could be better for them.
No, they're learning to be on the social media.
Not the whole 10 hours, unfortunately.
It doesn't matter what they learn, here and there.
Generally, what is your view on the role of social media on humanity?
So it's one of the greatest things that have happened to human beings. In the sense, see, right from ancient times, many great beings have come. When they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear them.
Yeah.
Today you can sit here and speak to the whole world. When was this ever possible? We are the first generation experiencing this. And we are complaining about it because we don't know how to use it. Well, this is not just about social media. Let's take the advancement of science and offshoot of technology. What has science done to us? It is one of the most wonderful explorations that human beings got into. But what has science done to us? Threatening the whole world. If at all, if anything destroys, it's our scientific and technological capabilities that destroy this world, isn't it?
Right.
So, is science bad? Is technology bad? Is social media bad? No. This is why I'm saying as we get more
Everybody grab a-
empowered, we need to focus equally on evolution of individual human
Let's roll.
beings. We have an extruder system in the education, everybody falls out as a lump of something. And then you expect
No!
empowerment to be an advantage? No. Empowerment is a terrible thing if it's in the wrong hands. Right now that's what is happening. The cutting edge science and technology is all going into military usage. So at this rate, now they're talking about weapons where they can just kill only the human beings, even the cameras won't be damaged. So, this is the best thing to do. You drop a bomb, just the human beings die. The buildings are in place, computers are in place, everything is in place for you to come and invade a nation or invade a city or whatever, all right?
Grabbing a Molotov.
So, why are we going into this? Because
I hit it.
we have empowerment in the wrong hands, unevolved hands, okay? If you give a gun to a monkey, it'll shoot just about anything. That's what we are right now. So, all empowerment we are thinking is bad because it's in the wrong hands. So instead of improving the quality of the one who
Ammo
holds
here.
these
There's a pipe bomb here.
instruments of empowerment, we are thinking those instruments are bad.
Guitar here.
No, social media is a fantastic thing. Science and technology are one of the most fantastic things that have happened to humanity. But
Defib unit
human
here.
beings are not evolved enough to handle such powerful tools, and they are messing themselves up. It's time they evolve. If they could evolve joyfully, wonderfully, it would be great. But I think a lot of human beings have written themselves
Guitar
into
here.
a space
Yippers.
where they can only evolve painfully. This is an unfortunate thing. A lot of people have kind of dismissed themselves into that pit. That's why we say yoga rathova, bodhi rathova. Through discipline or through chaos, through yoga or through boga, somehow grow. As long as you're growing, it doesn't matter if your way is painful, what can I do? I would like to see it's joyful. But if your way, you will grow only with pain. Do it. How can I stop it?
Is
But
it-
grow.
In which
Ain't gonna happen.
evolutionary process, so that you can avoid or prevent those guns from being in the hands of the monkeys.
You know these were monkeys, now they all… I'm sorry. We have all kinds of monkeys who evolved. Looking for attention, that's all. Other ingredients already creation has done. We just have to little engineer so that nothing is blocking, that's all. What blocks human
Y'all ready?
evolution? One thing is silly conclusions.
No.
These conclusions we call…
Yeah, I'm ready. Y'all
as
ready?
My personality,
Yes.
myself, my natural self, it's called. Or it's called family, it's called society, it's called civilization, it's called religion. You call it
Ready?
You
Ready?
will suddenly have a new thought. But you shall not be. That's why they said, man in pursuit of knowledge and he fell.
Guns here.
Yeah.
I wanna
Thank you.
try to follow up on this. You know, in the old days, until now, humanity has been searching for salvation, right? And then recently, they've been looking for inclusion. Now there's a sense that tribalism is on the rise, meaning, let me worry about my own zip code. Let me not worry about the next zip code. Is that good or bad?
Well, all right.
It's a terrible drop.
I owe you one.
Because all those people, whether they're joyful or miserable, they breathe, isn't it? If you have to breathe and live, or if you don't breathe, you will die, and you know that. Isn't breath and inclusion, everything here is included you, otherwise you won't be alive. What you eat, you digest. Is that not inclusion? The world has held you as a part of itself. Otherwise, you wouldn't exist here for a moment. So inclusion is they want somebody to tell them psychological beliefs that you're in such a way that somebody's emotions or somebody's perceived intentions. Your spouse may just train Alexa, I love you. You can have every 1 hour repeating. If you want it every 5 minutes. We can program your phone to just call you and tell
Defib
you
unit here.
nice silly things, sweet nothings on the phone. There's nobody else, it doesn't matter. It's like you. All I'm saying is this sense of wanting to be included in a club or a small group of people or the local gossip group or whatever is depravity that is setting in because we are empowered with things that we don't know how to handle. It's like if you give a full-blown car to a child, he's going to kill somebody or himself. Not because he's evil, because he just doesn't know what it can do. So that is the case of human beings right now, so they are looking for inclusion to have some sense of security. Salvation means you are not looking for security, you're looking for dissolution. Because you understand the nature of your life essentially is constructed on the foundations of mortality. Time and limit, time and energy. If you are conscious of it, that as you sit here, your life is slipping away. If you're conscious of it, seeking realization or salvation or whatever you call it, or mukti or moksha as we call it in the East, would be a natural process. Because somewhere in your mind you have become immortal. You think you're going to be here. These 5 people who are sitting here are very needed right now. Somebody has to tell you, I love you every 3 minutes. Otherwise you will feel lost because you're not looking at your life in the right context. The context of life is this: from the day you're born, it's ticking away. So should I sit here and worry about my death? Who's talking about worrying about anything? If you know you have a limited leisure time and energy, you definitely organize your life much more intelligently than the way people are doing it right now. Doing all kinds of rubbish which doesn't mean anything to them. As I was saying earlier,
I owe you one.
if Jesus comes and says, come follow me, the banker says like this, you go there, not here. So when I say Jesus, I'm not talking about a man or a religion. I'm saying something that you consider as super significant. Even if that comes, you can't change the course of your life. Means you're ruined.
Safe house ahead!
You're going this way thinking this is it. But if you saw something really significant, you must be able to change the course of your life. If you cannot do that, you are ruined already. You don't have to wait for the result.
Wow. Last question on technology before I proceed to the other topics. Artificial intelligence.
Hey!
Are you worried about it?
Where are you?
Why would I be?
Because it kind of gives me the sense…
Pre-pandemic time, they went on inviting me to all these artificial intelligence conferences. So I was in SPIEF in St. Petersburg.
Right.
And they all questioning me about artificial intelligence. I said, hey, why are you asking me about artificial intelligence? I'm a natural intelligence, not artificial. Why? They're all academics. I'm sorry, I'm not saying this, you can make this thing. They were all academics. They're all saying, if this comes up, we will all lose our jobs. I said, isn't it a good thing? Isn't it a good thing there are no teachers in the world? Because that's the best thing that can happen to the world, is there are no teachers.
Look out!
No teachers needed means what?
Look out!
That means human beings are smart enough to know and learn by their own means. Isn't that the most fantastic thing to happen?
Ignorance of knowledge. Ignorance over knowledge. Start with nothing.
So, I was just telling them this. I remember in 70s, the Mumbai port was called as Mazagon Docks. I don't know if it's still called
Got
that.
Molotovs!
So at that time, the ships were being unloaded manually by men and shacks. There were very strong unions of these coolies. They were called coolies. They had their own number plates, license number. Without that, you could not enter the port. And there's lots of politics and small mafia working around that and all this stuff.
Reloading.
So when they wanted to set up the first gantry
Ammo here.
in the port, that was the first gantry.
Reload!
Big strike, all the coolies went on strike. What are we supposed to do if the gantry comes? On those days, a ship of something like 150 to less than 200,000 tons, they would take 26 to 28
Stop
days
it!
to unload. And they were happy doing
I'm
it that
reloading.
way because that much labor they got.
Quiet.
When the gantry was fixed, today the gantries that we have even in India, you can unload a ship of 400 tons in less than 2 hours. So at that time they all went on strike and fought. If you can't put up this gantry, it's going to take our livelihood away. So essentially what they were saying is, this machine will make our muscles redundant. And it's a good thing that happened, I must say. Hasn't that happened in all levels of our life?
Reloading!
So if you had a water carrier bringing water from the river to your home every day and suddenly you got a pipeline and a tap, he will resist. Because what about my job? So now professors and academics are wondering, what about our jobs? Because a phone can teach physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever you want, and it has many gigabytes more memory than a human being can ever have, probably. So
Ammo
they're
here.
wondering, how will we continue our professions? But I think world should get to a place where to run the world, the material
Molotovs over here.
requirements of food, needs and infrastructure, no human being should be involved. Everything should be done by the machines. That is when there is good room
I
for
got a pipe bomb over
consciousness to rise, that we don't have daily concerns.
Reloading!
When this happens, those who are ignorant and arrogant,
Why not?
because
I
ignorance
follow
and
you.
arrogance are
might
not
need
two
these
different
pills.
things. Ignorance breeds arrogance, all right. They will go into
Oh,
drinking,
shit. This
drugging,
ain't gonna be good.
overeating, all this stuff. But there is a whole lot of human mentality. You wonder, what is this stuff about? Some will go towards suicide,
Jockey!
rest will go towards enlightenment. So culturing the society for a time like that. When I say culturing the society for a time like that, I'm not talking about future. Even now, how much physical activity you were doing 100 years ago for survival, how much you do, has come down to 10% or less. Physical, isn't it? Because of machines and technology.
Correct.
So how much nonsensical thinking you are doing to understand one thing and to do one thing, if it's done by the machine,
Reloading.
is it not a great benediction? So I'm all for any kind of intelligence, because
Ammo here!
this is how I see. I know some religions go about saying that God is love. I don't know about that. I know human beings can be loving if they're willing. Dogs are very loving.
Molotovs over here.
Whether God is loving or not, I'm not an authority on that, I don't want to say anything. Somebody says God is compassion. Well, your job in Stanford, you got it on your competence or compassion? I'm just asking.
I don't have the authority to answer.
I'm saying, would you like to get it on competence or compassion?
The former.
Can't have
Yes.
you laying around all
So
day.
compassion is meaningful
get
only
back.
if you've
Let me
fallen.
get you up.
If you're down for some reason, physically, mentally, whichever way, if I reach out, it's very valuable.
Yeah.
Suddenly my hand may look like God's hand to you when you've fallen, isn't it? But when you're standing on your 2 feet, you want acceptance, you don't want compassion, isn't it? So people say God is compassion because they are in such desperate states. People say God is love because they don't have any love in their hearts. All these things which are human qualities have been exported to heaven. If you say peace, people say divine peace. If you say bliss, people say divine bliss. No, these are all human capabilities. Miserable people on the planet have exported it, and now to import you have to pay from there. So, if it's just such a well-thought-out enterprise, I'll appreciate their entrepreneurship, but not good for humanity. So I'm saying, if all things that can be done by machines are done by machines, anything and everything, what would the human intelligence do? Naturally it would seek salvation. Well, a few suicides may happen, unfortunately. It should not. This is why we need to cultivate the society, orient the society. There is a way for a human being to aspire for something bigger than survival. Something bigger than physiological and psychological process is available. If you don't curate the society like this, then they will go to drink, drug, alcohol, suicide. These things will come because we have not cultured the society. Right now, that's what is happening in affluent societies. The youth are going these things because nobody has cultured them for any higher
We
possibility.
ready to get it on?
The only thing that's been done is selling tickets to heaven. The youth don't want to go to heaven.
Everybody ready?
If you say you want to go to heaven, they will ask you, is there free Wi-Fi? They're not interested in the old promises that were made about heaven, all right? They want life here. So that's a very good thing. It may look like short-termism,
might need these.
but it's a very good thing because I feel one of the greatest crimes that we have done in the world is to tell people that there is a better place
Watch
than
out!
this. This is a crime against creation. There is no
Here,
better place than
You can
this.
have this.
Wherever you are.
All right,
You may be in a
thanks.
desert, but still I'm telling you, there is no better place than this for you.
Yes.
You must make this into a wonderful space to live. It's very important. I've not seen whole of Indonesia, at least Bali. Bali, what we have seen
Oh, you must come again.
is cultured,
Yeah,
is cultured for mukti.
correct.
India largely was like that, but today we are trying to be more American than American. We are trying hard.
Game on, baby!
So, to culture a society, this is the work that we are doing. To
reloading.
culture a society, not about preaching religion, not about teaching scriptures or some ideology.
I'm on my
or
way.
belief
Shit.
system. To culture a human being that if you are
Yeah.
willing, there are possibilities beyond physical and mental pleasures and comforts.
I want to move on to who you've been busy with recently. You've been riding the motorbike
Get out of the
over the
goop!
world, and you've gotten a lot of people excited. Safe soil. Tell us.
They got excited because they thought I'm killing myself.
But tell the world what your mission is. At least the Indonesians and Southeast Asians, what you've been up to.
Well, one of your stars was very much a part of Save Soil movement. What's the name? Rilin Shah has been participating in Save Soil. She's been a big support, and she also came all the way to Dubai to ride with me for a short distance. But for a beautiful young woman like that, it was too hot.
Did you comply with the speed limits, or?
Speed limits in Dubai are good, 160 kilometers per hour. It's 100 miles. It's okay. But because in some places I was going with the security, and the security were excited. So they were driving at 240, 245 kilometers per hour, so I was happy. So, about Save Soil. I've been talking about soil for over 30 years now. I've spoken to regular common people, I've spoken to lots of farmers, I've spoken to bureaucrats from various ministries, agriculture ministries, environment ministries, various ministers in many countries, some of the heads of state. Everybody says, this is fantastic, this is very important, this has to be done. And that night they will use it as a pillow to sleep upon, all the safe zones. So, I've been watching this, we've not just been watching, we've been manifesting it on the ground, that we've been converting farmers from aggressive chemical based farming to very soil-friendly and economically far more lucrative way of doing things. Most farmers who have shifted to this form of agriculture look at. Over 132,000 farmers have shifted to regenerative agriculture in southern India.
Get your asses
alone.
in here right now!
Their incomes have gone up anywhere from 300 to 800%.
Hey, get in here!
What sort of duration and how long?
In a matter of 7 to 8 years.
My gosh.
So now we have 23 farmer producer organizations. It is 130,000 farmers are pretty large, but still it's a drop in the ocean. So I saw that we can do any number of projects, but the important thing is the global policy has to change.
Right.
Because microbial life is not segmented, it's a global phenomena. Unless you make it happen around the world, we are heading towards soil extinction. That's what we are going towards. Because soil is the largest living system, not only on this planet, but in the known universe. It is the largest living system with trillions of life forms. You take a handful of soil, is anywhere between 8 to 10 billion, 50 to 75,000 species in a handful. So that's how rich it is. But we have been systematically starving them to death. When I say starving them to death, here you see all this leaf has fallen at this time. It will stay here, and in a month's time there'll be a snowfall. After snowfall, by spring,
Where you all at?
there will not be a single leaf. It would all become soil. So here the organic content could be anywhere over 50 to 55%. But the minimum organic content that is necessary to call soil as soil, according to UN agencies, is 3%. Minimum most. 3 to 6% is good. But not a single nation, not even a single nation, the average is 3%. The highest
This right here
that you
messed some
find
shit
is
up.
in Northern Europe, which is
Ammo here!
1.48%. Southern Europe is 1.1%. Average across African continent
It's on!
and United States is 1.25%.
Holla back at me!
India is 0.8%. Below 1% is considered desertification. In the last 25 years, we have lost 10% of our land to deserts. 10% in 25 years. And that will increase significantly in the next 10 to 15 years' time, because if there is something I think generally not being addressed, that is, if the temperatures go up by 1 degree, the wind speed on the planet, the general, should go up by a minimum of 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. If it goes up by 2 degrees, it will go up 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. So,
Hey,
if normal
anyone out
wind
there?
is blowing at, let's say, there are many places where in certain seasons, including southern India, the pre-monsoon winds will blow at anywhere between 70, sometimes up to 100 kilometers
Ammo
per
here.
hour for a month or 2 months. Almost in large parts of the world, it's like that. If it picks up to 125, 140 kilometers per hour, then the amount of soil it'll shift is enormous. You know this in United States.
Grab me a
Something called
Molotov.
They all are. It's not even fair. I'm calling zombie bullshit on that, you know?
soil, not entire, a large
Allow
part
them
of
to be so
soil
fast.
millions of tons of soil from the prairies went and landed in New York City. They thought it landed in New York City.
Hey, anyone out there?
And heaps like dunes came up in New York City. But you could never calculate how much of it went into the ocean.
You guys are all right.
Topsoil, which takes 600 to 800 years to create 1 inch of topsoil. But that is getting blown away as the wind speeds increase. You get completely blown away, especially in islands like yours with the thin strips. The whole island could be in the ocean in a matter of 50 years' time if you don't.
Or less.
I'm saying if you don't take care of the vegetation. If I hear that in Indonesia from 87% it's come to some 42 or 43% forest cover. If you don't put back forest cover, lot of things can just blow away. Because already that is a high area, cyclone. One cyclone can just empty the whole island. Right
Where
now,
you all at?
southern Europe is right now facing this. Already parts of Romania are under sand. Because the Kalahari and the Saharan sand is flying into southern Europe. It's not only the people coming, the sand itself is coming. Immigration. You can't stop it, you can stop the people by pointing guns at them, but the sand will come. So in countries like Romania, Slovakia, even right up to Azerbaijan,
Let's go. Get in
here.
We've
these sands are coming. But if the wind picks up by 25 to 30 kilometers more, then overnight your town could be covered in sand. It's possible. So,
People want. There's no.
I'm Sean Carroll. I'm a theoretical physicist.
My name is Sabine Hossenfelder. I'm a physicist and research fellow at the How to Learn. And so I think for a lot of people out there, the
Where you
journal
all at?
articles that we write in the Foundations of Physics are just incomprehensible. But nevertheless, we're talking about topics that a lot of people are interested in. So I kind of see it as my mission to communicate all this incomprehensible mathematics from the papers to people who don't have any education to listen to it, especially when it comes to those big questions. My book Existential Physics picks up all the big questions in physics that the laws of nature can teach us something about. And that includes questions like whether physics has without free will, how did the universe begin, how will it end, can the universe stay matter, are there galaxies within elementary particles, all those things.
Are spiritual ideas compatible with modern physics?
I think spiritual ideas are perfectly Hey, we're I told you I away from it. I'm not at all opposed to religious belief. I think it's just a completely different territory than science. And every once in a while, I think that scientists actually stray over into the territory that is religion. And I don't a priori have a problem with them doing it. I just wish they would be clearer about that they're actually doing religion. If you look at the history of science, then it's pretty clear that religion and science have the same roots. They both grew out of our desire to better understand the world around us, to better understand our own existence. And so a couple of 100 years ago, those two paths split up, and now we have science and we have religion, and they kind of don't really talk to each other. But science still tries to address some of those big questions, and especially in the foundations of physics.
It's on!
Is my great-grandmother still alive?
I had the idea for writing this book when I was sitting in a taxi together with a young man who told me that he's a DJ and he's playing music at some kind of literature festival. And when I told him I'm a physicist, he said, "Oh, can I ask you a question about quantum mechanics?" And I know where to go, and we were stuck in this taxi for like almost an hour. So I thought, well, okay, go ahead. And he said, "Someone told me that my grandmother is still alive because of quantum mechanics. Is this right?" And I had to pause for a moment and try to understand what he was going on about. And after thinking about this for a while, I came to the conclusion it's not entirely wrong. And this made me realize
ammo
that there
here.
are a lot of things, like these big existential questions about afterlife and about free will, that physics can actually tell us something about. And those are stories that we normally don't tell.
Molotov!
What is Einstein's concept?
Oh, shit! Watch out!
Okay, so let's talk about the physics of dead grandmothers. The thing is, it's got nothing to do with quantum mechanics.
All right,
It's actually
thanks.
something from Einstein's theory of special relativity. It's all about the reality of time. It's all about the question whether the present moment, this moment is now that we experience ourselves, whether this is of fundamental importance. Before Einstein, time was this universal parameter. We all shared the same moment of time, and we all had the same moment of now that we could all agree on. But then Einstein came and he said, well, it's not that simple. The major reason for this is that the speed of light is finite, and it's the same for all observers. Oh, and also, nothing can go faster than the speed of light. And this sounds like a really innocent assumption, like all this stuff with the speed of light, but it has a truly fundamental consequence, which is heavily to consider if you ask yourself whether you know if the screen in front of you is actually there right now. So maybe you can say, yes, of course, it's there. I mean, I'm looking at my hand, or I see it directly in front of me. But you just know that the speed of light is faster than the speed of light. It's everything that you see. You see it as it was a tiny little amount of time in the past. So how do you know that anything exists right now? What do you even mean by now? So this is the problem that comes up in Einstein's theory of special relativity.
I hear a hunter.
Einstein
Come on
tried
out,
to
pussy.
a notion of now. In this he think, and he failed, and he just came to conclude that this moment is fundamentally meaningless. Every moment is now somewhere. So imagine you're looking straight ahead and there's a train going through to your line of sight, say from the left to the right. On the train was your friend, and it's called and as you probably know, in Einstein's theory, all velocities are relative. So you would say the train is moving relative to you from the left to the right, but Alice would say, well, actually,
Got it all!
I'm
gonna need these.
So there's a lot of going on.
Molotov.
That
Reloading.
At the exact moment
Reloading!
that, Alice, who's standing in the middle of the train, is looking straight at you. There are
Reloading!
lights going off in the train.
Charger!
The question is, did these light flashes happen at the same time?
Okay.
So this is the question we're trying to answer. Now, if you want to answer this question looking at the train, that's pretty straightforward. You can just forget about the train. There are those light flashes going on. They both come from sources that are the same distance from you. So of course you see them at the same time. You would say, yeah, sure, they happened at the same time. But how does the same thing look from Alice's perspective? So the light flashes go off, but while the light travels towards her, she's moving towards one of the light sources. So the long path of the light is shorter, and the other one is longer. So from Alice's perspective, the light drives earlier than the one going back. Another important point is that, as we said earlier, this is relativity. So neither of them is right and neither of them is wrong. They both have an equally valid perspective. And what do we conclude from this? Well, we conclude from this that there is no unambiguous notion to define what happens now. It depends on the observer. So they're both right. And if you follow this logic to its conclusion, then the outcome is that every moment could be now for someone. And that includes all moments in your past, and it also includes all moments in your future. So this impossibility to define one notion of now that we all agree on